I was raised as a Catholic, but I wouldn't really describe myself as religious today. I had never heard of things like megachurches or televangelism or the prosperity gospel. That was until I stumbled across an infamous interview.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial.
You've got this journalist that's confronting this guy called Kenneth Copeland.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into two women demons.
Like, I ain't trying to ride on that plane with the devils.
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
That's literally what you said.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Look at this dude's eyes, bro. Tell me he's not the devil. This dude is the
Copeland
devil.
is being confronted about his purchase of a Gulfstream jet, and it turns out that that jet
Like, I don't
is
understand
just
why
one
Pastor
of a
need a
fleet
jet. Like,
of
where
jets
you
that he
go,
owns, along
where
with
you
a
need a jet.
boathouse, a mansion, and his very own airport. This is a preacher that is supposedly
these dudes
worth
are hustlers.
hundreds of millions of dollars with an
I
enormous
respect
following,
the hustle.
and
I
you're
couldn't
telling
do
me
it, but I
that he
respect
is
it.
just one of many.
If these sheeples is
This
dumb enough
entire
to fall
thing
for it.
is a rabbit hole.
Pastor what is now the largest church in America, weekly sermon watched by more than 10 million viewers on television.
The apostles were
These
rich.
niggas is
They were
some
rich men, had
hustlers.
plenty of money. I'm sure you Jesus was a wealthy man, had plenty of money.
One of my chandeliers cost more than most people's house. I got 22 chandeliers in the house.
Nigga said his chandelier costs more than some people's houses. And people in there cheering, yeah, give him more money. Like,
Extremely greedy. They don't need mansions. They don't need jets.
why do you need a jet?
Told me to have that plane.
Any religious
God
leader
told you to have
who
it.
speaks the word of God, who has more than one suit, while someone has no clothes, is a cop-out.
Come on,
you know,
bro.
I just
You the
don't
devil
see
to
it
me.
that way.
Especially this
$54
motherfucker,
million.
Joel
I want
Osteen.
you to
My mom
imagine
just
how
listens
many
to that
people could do
devil.
that. Well, how many homeless could have places to sleep?
And look at these people, and all of them look like the devil. Is it
If you
you?
were
Like
willing
they
to pay the
eyes,
price,
bro.
you could talk directly to God.
Yeah, you pay the right price. God'll talk to you. If you paid $2, $3, God will hear what you
And I
gotta say.
remember my
You
own
gotta drop some
personal
hundreds in here for
experiences
God
inside
to
the
listen.
church. What comes to mind was definitely not this. At times it's like a concert, and when the preachers come to preach, it's like a celebrity is just taken to the stage. Everyone is worshipping together, they're smiling, they're joined in their faith and devotion. What we're witnessing is something called a megachurch. By definition, a megachurch is just a church that has a larger than average congregation, normally of 2,000 members or above. But when we think of spirituality or forms of it, there's normally a distinction between spiritual duty and materialistic desires. Now, I'm not a theologian and I'm not going to pretend to be one, but even I remember verses from the Bible when it came to wealth and building riches, that it wasn't viewed favorably upon. But if my memory is correct, then what was I witnessing in this interview with Copeland? And moreover, some of these preachers. So you've got this preacher, Kenneth Copeland, who founded the Kenneth Copeland Ministries along with his wife, Gloria. They own a $7 million
Devil,
home,
a devil
fleet
and a
of
jackal.
jets, and their Eagle Mountain
$7
International
million
Church
house.
has a membership in the thousands, not to mention their television and online broadcasting. Then there's Jesse Duplantis, who sat with Copeland as they both justified their purchases of private jets.
Then the second one I purchased was in January 2004.
Benny Hinn, who
This one I
claims
bought
to
my
be able
third
to
jet
turn
right here.
locals, who fills
Stupid
up
motherfuckers
stadiums
get
and
paid.
broadcasts it on networks worldwide.
I release it.
Joel Osteen, a very popular figure, especially in Houston, Texas, where his church resides, who's authored books that have been on New York Times bestsellers, as well as hosting church services with celebrities like Kanye West. Creflo Dollar, who has created fundraisers for his private jets, whose ministry owns 2 Rolls Royces and expensive real estate to boot.
God is the gateway to the world of wealth.
There's this
That's
Instagram
basically the
page which is
finesse.
called
The
Preachers
finesse
in
is
Sneakers.
you give money and you'll get riches. And most people are struggling and people want to get riches. So they think of the more they give, the more they'll get in return. The ultimate hustler. Any simple-minded person will fall for it. I'm just glad I have a higher than average IQ because goddamn, that's the ultimate hustler. Give me money and you'll get rich. Like, what the fuck?
Niggas, and it's literally just preachers next to the cost of the
Like,
clothing
look at these
they're
preachers.
wearing.
These are
Something
preachers. Like, when did preachers even start dressing like this? Like, these dudes look like hustlers. These are scammers, bro. Balenciaga and fucking Off-White and Louis and Gucci and like
something just isn't right.
Like just me being in a congregation, seeing that, I would be like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? I'm struggling. I ain't got no food. I'm giving this dude money every week. This motherfucker got Louis and Gucci on his feet. Like, what the fuck? And these people in there just blinded, bro. Oh my God. You will not catch me in no church, bro.
How? Right? How is it possible to be this braggadocious about your wealth?
And that's the thing. They're not even hiding it.
Not only are okay with it,
I have 10 jets.
To fund it. And that was when I found out about the prosperity gospel.
Prosperity gospel, for sure.
What we're looking at is a movement that has seemingly found its way inside of America's biggest megachurches and being taught by its biggest preachers. The Word of Faith movement is its name, and its teachings are often referred to as the prosperity gospel. It's a simple idea. God wants you to be prosperous through your finances, your health, your marriage, and relationships. In fact, those are things that belong to you through your faith, if you're willing to receive it. The prosperity gospel often refers to its believers as little gods. The idea being that we were made in the image of God and therefore possess a level of divinity within us that allows us to bring into existence the prosperity that we've been promised.
You are gods, little g. You are gods because you came from God.
And your DNA and Jesus' DNA are exact. You're exactly like.
It sounds amazing. So how do I earn this prosperity? How do I access this divine power that I supposedly have?
How do I get it?
It starts with your faith.
But if you'll stay in faith, there will come a point where God will say, enough.
They know how to talk, boy. They just like any other self-help guru or any other hustler. They finessing people. And the fact that people, oh my God, bro, we are living in I honestly believe this is the stupidest time, like as a nation of people, like people IQ are the lowest I think it's ever been before. This motherfucker talking about he got 10 jets and you struggling. Why are you giving him money? Like, if I keep giving the pastor money, I'm like, you giving the pastor, you're not giving God no money. Like, oh my God.
Is enough. It's payback time.
I
know you love the Lord, so you qualify for prosperity.
Next, you have the act of tithing. The initial concept of tithing was this idea that you give 1/10 of your wealth in some way, shape, or form to a religious organization. Most houses of worship are going to rely on the donation of their congregation in order to continue their operations, especially megachurches. It is kind of like giving to a charity. But tithing, through the teachings of the prosperity gospel, introduces a, should we call it a plot twist?
Tithing lays the foundation for financial success and abundance.
You hear what I'm saying? The more you give, the more you will receive. It's the ultimate hustle, though. It's so simple, but yet it's genius. Because once you get people are buying into any motherfucking thing. Hope is a serious thing. Once you got hope, you can sell them anything. And if you could make a motherfucker believe the more money they give you, the more money they will get, bro, you're a genius.
Tithing is the way for recession or depression to bypass you.
You hear what I'm saying? The more money you give, recession won't even affect you. Give me money, and the recession, it'll just pass you by.
Stephanie from Maryland writes, I sent in my first fruits offering. 2 weeks later, I received, watch this, $2,400.
Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. Look at these bitch. Look at this bitch. Run that back. Look at her. Pearls and necklaces and...
Later, I received, watch this, $2,000.
I'm sure them shoes she got on is some designer shoes. I don't know what shoes they are, but I know they design Prada or some crazy shit. $2,000 shoes or something like that. Like, oh my God.
$400.
These people make me sick.
So
this got to be a mental illness. It's a mental illness.
Donating your money to a church, it becomes a case where you're exchanging your money in return.
Yeah, you're basically exchanging money. Yeah, it's like you're paying for prosperity. Like, that's not how it works. So when you see, that's what all these, even my moms be talking that shit. So when you see, basically means give them your money and somehow God is gonna bless you with money. Like, no.
It is pretty obvious to anyone who's watching.
God,
You
these people
give us
have a
some of your
mental
money,
illness.
And in return, that value will be given back to you in some
How?
way, shape, or form.
That's not how
It's
life
the
works.
harvest.
I want you to go to the phone or online and sow a seed. Now remember,
Somebody's son is going to be set free from alcohol because of your $1,000 seed.
And I'm going to ask you to sow an exceptional common seed of $1,000.
And click on that donation button.
They basically saying send me $1,000. And these mentally ill people would be like, if I send it in, look to God will bless me. It's like, no, don't send it.
So $1,144.
Bro, I'm glad. I can honestly say I'm glad I was never as dumb as the average person, because a lot of people are just dumb. I'm glad I've just had like a different level of cognitive ability, because these people here, you can't sell me stuff like that. And like most of these people are women. Let's keep it real. Because women, you can sell them anything. So it's easy to sell a woman. Girl, you send me some money and God gonna give you money. That's easy to sell a woman.
So God is giving you the harvest, and the harvest of the seed you sow. You can't expect a harvest if
So
you
it
don't sow seed.
really, realistically, look who be in church. It
physical,
be mostly women. You don't see dudes in church like that a lot of the time.
surreal.
They ain't going in there to get
And
finessed
it
out their bread, my
generates
hard-earned money that I'm
a lot
working
of
for.
money.
You
On
crazy?
January the 12th of 2008, Kenneth Copeland Ministries took possession of a Gulfstream jet, which was funded all thanks to the donors of his church. In fact, KCM wrote a blog post thanking their followers for helping them, quote, harvest the Gulfstream. But our work
Harvest
is
the
not done.
Gulfstream?
To which the blog then proceeds to remind their followers that they still need $17 million more.
Niggas, they basically said, we know y'all gave us, I don't know how much, I think he said like $60 million or something like that to buy the jet. But people in the church basically funded the jet. He's like, that's not enough. We harvesting, but we need $17 million more. Because we got some other shit we need to get. We need to get another jet,
Which
a
will be
hangar,
used for the, quote,
a
sowing
runway.
towards the construction of a new hangar, upgrading the existing runway, and purchasing special Gulfstream maintenance equipment. Or how about Creflo Dollar's infamous sermon, to which he tells his congregation to help him fundraise towards a private jet, all to the response of cheers and applause from the audience.
If I want to believe God for a $65 million plane, you cannot stop.
And these people, oh my God. And then they're cheering. This man is saying, if God want to give me a 60, God is not giving you no $65 million plane, bro. These fools in the audience are giving you a $65 million plane. God is not giving you a $65 million plane,
Stop me. You cannot stop me from dreaming.
See, Copeland and Dollar's pleas for money, they're not met with criticism and backlash from their
Nothing.
congregation. It's celebrated.
It's
And prosperity preachers will
with these
obviously
people?
say that this aids in their quest to spread their message across the different countries.
If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of them.
If you flew
obviously
commercial.
allows them to make even more in donations.
bro.
But
What the
these
fuck are you
preachers, they
doing?
don't just
Bro,
live.
what the fuck are you doing, bro? You a pastor. You go up there, you sell people a dream, collect their money, and move on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like you some big businessman, nigga. You spread lies to people and take their money. Like, come on. Like all these things I have to do. Like, you know, these lies is like, you know, they all right themselves.
Live lavish, right? They put it on full display.
Jesus Christ would roll around in a Rolls
Bro, I
Royce.
swear I'm about to become a pastor.
Let's get a close-up.
I'm out here struggling. And I could just be telling these people all type of bullshit and collecting their money and jumping on jets.
I am. You wear very nice clothing. So
The wealth of these preachers, they're not seen as gross or hypocritical. In fact, they're seen as proof
This shit is
that the teachings
disgusting.
work.
Yo,
It's
it's
seen as them actually
disgusting.
practicing what they preach,
Mhm.
the extravagant lifestyle. That's
Look
not
how
a
much money
mistake
I'm
or a
getting.
flaw.
Keep giving me money, and
It's a
eventually
feature
you'll
of the
get money like
prosperity
this. It's
gospel.
like,
Many
no.
of these preachers will say that the
It's like
funds
the
that they
dumbest thing in the
receive are
world.
used only for ministry purposes. Osteen, for example, says that he doesn't receive any salary from his ministry, and all the money he makes comes from his book sales. Look, In some ways, I don't really care if a ministry wants to buy a private jet. It looks optically hypocritical, but I'd rather let theologians argue over the contradictions that those actions have with actual religious texts. I'm more interested in how the money is generated, and it doesn't get more unethical of a promise than it does with the prosperity gospel.
If you're accustomed to giving $10, go to 20. Go up to 70, 80, 100. Right?
And there's people really sit there home like, yeah, he's right. I've only been given $20. I need to give more. That's why I haven't been receiving any of my blessings. I've been cheap.
Raise that amount and watch what God will do, because
Don't you stop sowing offering.
Millions of stupid
Well, they
people.
won't let us go to church. Well, email it in there, text and give or something. You get that tithe in that church, you get that offering in that church, and then you go home and you do what we're supposed to do.
This idea is no different than the law of attraction and manifestation circles that claim that you can use your mind to manifest any desire that you want. In fact, it's been argued that the prosperity theology does have similar roots to the New Thought philosophy that became popular in America in the 19th century. When I look at Osteen, for example, I don't necessarily see a preacher. I see someone who's more
Yeah, he's like a
akin to
motivational speaker.
motivational speaker that uses God as a proxy.
He got the gift of gab. That's one thing I can say. He could look, 99% women. You ain't see no bunch of men up in there like believing into this bullshit. They gotta go to work. Only women can buy into this foolishness all day. Like, yeah, my God, if I keep giving all my husband's money away, who'll get more money from some imaginary place? The fuck? Think my wife could be going up in the church giving this man my money, but you crazy?
Becoming What You Believe and the Power of Your Words. It's a book like many others in the self-help genre.
Yeah, self-help shit,
really
like a finesse, bro.
But it's this
So people
sowing
is
your
dream.
seed message in the prosperity theology. The idea that you can donate to a church and in return you can, pay off your rent, pay off your credit card.
Nigga, you could pay it off before. You think if you give more money away, you can? No, now you more in debt. You fool.
To Europe and Africa. So one of Nigeria's wealthiest
And for me,
is this
that's
guy
like,
called
and to me, that's even that just shows the character of these people. You basically trying to buy blessings. It's like, I don't think that makes you. I don't know how just that is. Like you basically trying to buy blessings. Like I could be a piece of shit all my life every day, be a horrible person, but if I just pay some money in the church, all my sins go away. That's how it looked to me. Like these motherfuckers, those are the worst. Those are the biggest devils. That's why they always say the biggest devils will go to church. The biggest devils in church.
David Oyedepo, who is said to be worth $150 million.
We're not asking you to give so the church can be blessed. We're asking you to give so you can be blessed.
So the finesse. We're not asking you to give to the church so the church can be blessed. We asking you to give so you can be blessed. It's all psychological mind fuck. Reverse psychology, like make somebody feel like, oh, like you don't want them to do it when you really want them to do it, so you act like come on, bro. Like this is the oldest trick in the book. Make a motherfucker feel like you really don't want to do it, but you really want to do it on the low, and it's like,
okay, I was worth $150 million. I said that's
don't
an
do it
insult.
for me, do it for you.
$150 million.
Don't do it
That's
for
an
me,
insult.
do it for you.
$150 million.
Do they know what they're doing?
They basically selling you. Don't do it for me, do it for you. Don't give the money for me. Give the money for you. Like, alright, I ain't gonna give it then. I'm gonna keep my money.
I can't imagine someone knowingly deceive and hurt other people without
these
just driving
motherfuckers are the
themselves
devil.
insane in the
No,
long
bro.
run. Like type of cognitive dissonance just seems too much to bear.
I kill people every day.
I'm never gonna know what their intentions are. I can only ever see what the consequences of their actions are.
There is none.
You haven't seen the worst of it yet.
There won't be no consequences. These fools are always going to give.
Hin is probably most well known for what he calls his miracle crusades. Hin claims to be able to perform miracles. He'll bring people to the stage with all sorts of illnesses, and then with the touch of his hand, they will...
Alright. Shocker. This is not real, it's not true. He can't heal or fix anybody. Because if this was true, doctors would be out of business like that. Let's be real. When people really get sick, they don't go to him to get rid of their illnesses. They go to the doctor. When motherfucker got cancer, ain't nobody got cancer went to this motherfucker and he got rid of their cancer. It's like, let's be real. It's fake. And the fact that, oh my God, people are seeing this and buying into this bullshit and going up there and shaking. Like, bro, if I got cancer, you telling me this man here could kill my cancer? It's like, it's not real. It's shocking that I even have to say this. It's not real. You can't cure anybody. It's fake.
They feel God's power running through them as they fall back, and
all
these
this, oh my God, I'm gonna go to some spiritual motherfucker to heal my. It's like, bro, when people get sick for real, you know who they go to? The doctor. That's the motherfucker that cure your illness, not these motherfuckers who about to prey on it.
Catch them as they fall.
You had Parkinson's.
So you're gonna make him see. So he's gonna see now. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
15 years. It says, oh, thanks for
I want to
the
see.
anointing.
Oh my God. 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 Look at these people.
And Benny Hinn isn't the only one that does this, right? This is a really common practice amongst the prosperity gospel circles.
Glory to God. You're not bound to this chair. The day will come, you'll walk out of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
What is
my
it that we're
God.
really seeing here?
What the fuck?
Is this an actual miracle?
I would know that there were certain things that were completely deceptive.
Costi Hinn is the nephew of Benny Hinn, and he's worked with his family, sometimes as a catcher himself. In 2017, Costi Hinn came forward with a testimony of his time spent in Benny Hinn's ministry.
The responsibility is to look really good, look really blessed, sell the narrative, make all the money, and say, look at my life. If you give to this, if you follow it, if you obey it, and if you do what I say.
Like, oh my God, the reason why he's having such a luxurious life is not because of God. God doesn't have him flying around in a private jet. God is not the reason why he got a Rolex and 10 Bentleys. No, you fucking stupid people. You are the reason he has a Bentley, because you're giving him your money. Oh my God, these people are retarded. Oh my God, mental illness is a serious thing. I thought mental illness was not real, but it's real.
The lifestyle that
This
he
is a
had
mental
whilst
illness.
working with his family. We
Like,
lived in a 10,000
he doesn't have a
square
10,000
mansion.
foot square foot, 39 chandeliers bragging to y'all every day by his Gucci and Louis Vuitton because of God. Oh, God is the reason why I have this. So you give money to God and you can have it too. Like, no, he has it because you're giving money on to him. He's the God. Look, you're looking up to him like he's the God.
Guarded by a private gate, drove 2 Mercedes-Benz vehicles, vacationed in exotic destinations, and shopped at the most expensive stores. Costi Hinn really believed in what he was doing. Yeah, but he only had doubts when he started finding contradictions in what he was teaching and what he was finding in the Bible. Grace Brulard was 8 years old when she was featured on an episode of CBC's The Fifth Estate in 2005, an episode that was specifically investigating Hinn's ministry.
If you could have a miracle, what would you want?
Like, you a miracle worker, make this girl walk. Make her walk. Yes, I want to see her walk again. Let's see what you got, Benny. Make her walk. No, I don't want nothing else in the world but to walk. Since you a miracle worker.
And just as she's about to go to the stage, she's intercepted by what are called screeners who tell her to step aside. According to that documentary and an insider, the job of the screeners is to screen out the people that are severely sick and ill. There's the story of Justin Peters, who isn't a...
You know why they screened him out? Come on, we know why they screened him out. Because it's bullshit. When she go up on that stage and he fucking do his whole antics, she's not gonna walk. She's still gonna be in a wheelchair. That's why they like, look, you gotta go over here. We need people with the cold. We need people with the flu. So I pray over them. When the flu goes away naturally, they can pretend like it was God. Stupid shit. Ain't nobody handicapped, paralyzed going up there and you make it because it's not real. People with mild little illnesses or the flu or a headache. Oh, I had a headache for 3 days. Oh my God. Like, the headache going to go away anyway. And they feel, oh, Lord, these people are stupid.
Is an evangelist himself and was born with cerebral palsy. During the Fifth Estate's investigation into Hinn's ministry, they attempt
make
to
this
get Peters
dude with
to go on
cerebral
stage as
palsy.
well,
Yes,
and
they
just
want to
like Grace,
see.
He is also intercepted by the screeners.
You ain't coming up on the stage.
Camera shows Justin being stopped by a screener. Watch as Henry Hinn whispers something to her. Then Justin is told to step aside.
Of course.
In another
'cause it's
documentary
not
from
real.
2001, HBO were given full access to Hin's events and were even allowed to follow several cases of supposed miracle healings. These are people that actually managed to get onto the stage and claim they'd been healed. In one instance, the crew follows a boy called Ashneal and his parents as they're desperate to have their child healed by one of Hin's miracles.
We expecting miracle.
The Prakash family, Negro, take your kid to the hospital, not to him.
Immigrants to America. 10-year-old Ashneal is their younger son. 2 massive brain tumors have reduced him to a vegetative state.
We believe in God.
Brain tumors, it's over. It's over.
And there's
You
nothing
need
impossible
a
for
motherfucking brain doctor.
Later in the documentary,
You don't need him.
Ashneal's parents actually attend the crusade and they're brought on stage to have their child healed by Hin himself. Hin gets the crowd to raise
And
their
the fact
hands
that
and
this
then he
fucking
places
dude
his hands
is
on
doing this
Ashneal's
shit,
face and
knowing
says,
it's bullshit. There's no miracle gonna happen, bro.
The Lord's gonna touch you, young boy.
Yeah, sure. Lord's gonna touch him.
It didn't happen. I was not even discouraged. I know it's God's plan.
You know.
And that's the thing with these people. They got so much faith. Oh my God, it's sad. That even when it don't work, which it's not, because it's not real. There's no such thing as no miracle or none of that bullshit. It's not real. It's fake. Shocking. Even after it doesn't work out, they just be like, oh, it's God's will. God wanted them to go. It's his time. And da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it was his time. And miracles not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not real. But then they just revert back to, oh, it was God and it's his time. And
You know, I can stake my life on Pastor Benny's words. And God spoke to me last night at the Colosseum Center where
bro, nobody spoke to you.
He said, donate me another $2,000.
God spoke to you, told you to donate another $2,000. Mental illness. These people have a sickness. Bro, I'm not donating you $2. You know his wife.
Recently, I watched an event from Kenneth Copeland's Eagle Mountain Church, right? It's called Miracles on a Mountain. It's another miracle healing service, and in this instance, it was hosted by this evangelist called Billy Burke. And at one point, someone
I don't even
brought
talk to
out
people
from the crowd.
that believe in shit like
And I
this
thought,
and going to these
hang
type
on,
of churches and
I
watching these
recognize
shits
this
and
guy.
doing it.
It was Big Nick, who, for those of you that don't know, was an ex-member of the popular social media group, the Vlog Squad, which is headed by David Dobrik. At the event, Nick tells Billy Burke about his blind eye.
I'm blind in my left eye as well.
I know that. You told me that.
Billy
Yeah, make him see. I want him to see.
and attempts to cure his eye.
Which not gonna happen because he.
After all the theatrics, Billy then starts to wiggle his finger around, and then nothing yet. And Billy hears that, and he continues like trying to help him. And then when he realizes it doesn't work, he then just tells Nick, recite chapters of the Bible every night for your eye to be cured.
So John chapter 9, your confession starting tonight, and there.
This is a sickness. I can't see it. I wonder. The doctors can help you? Nigga, there's nothing I can do. The fuck? You think I'm finna say some words over your eye that's finna come? These people are mentally ill. I don't feel bad for them. They mentally ill and there's nothing you can do for them. So, I got an idea. I'm gonna pray for these people. I'm gonna pray for these people are ill.
Before you go to bed. Ready?
Oh my God.
And there's no indication that his eye is healed since
Of
the
course
event.
not.
So
It's
again,
not healed.
What are we witnessing when we see things like this?
Of course his eye's not healed. Is anybody surprised?
If we are to believe that
These
these
people
people
are
aren't just
mentally
actors, which
ill.
I really don't think that they are.
They're not. They're
What
mentally
is
ill
actually
people.
happening? Consider this. If what we're seeing is really a miracle, why don't these people go to hospitals and heal people there? Why do they need the lights and the...
Am I bugging? Am I bugging? If these people really have these powers, bro, one, I'm keeping it real. If I had the magical ability to cure any illness, I would cure everybody's illness, because I would feel like that's my purpose on the earth. I could just touch a motherfucker and whatever they are going on just goes away. One, I would do it for everybody, and I wouldn't charge nobody a goddamn dollar. You know why? Because I would feel like this is my higher purpose in life. This is my purpose in life, to heal motherfuckers. I would be going to every hospital, every hospital. I would just be healed motherfucker all day. Oh, that's healed. What you got? You got gangrene? You got cancer? You got this? You got HIV? Just make it go away, because I got magical abilities like that. It's not real. Why you think there's all these sick people in the hospital? Go cure them. Go cure all these people on their deathbed and pray for them and make them come out of that vegetated state. It's not fucking real.
And the cameras and the atmosphere and the theatrics to be able to do what they do. In 2011, Darren Brown ran this TV special program called Miracles for Sale. In this special program, Darren Brown, who is this self-described mentalist and illusionist, takes this ordinary individual called Nathan and attempts to turn him into a faith healer performing miracles in front of an audience. The idea behind the program was to expose the fact that what is happening here are not miracles, that it's just a product of psychology, the power of suggestion and misdirection. Now, some aspects of faith healing are just pure trickery.
I just called it, I just break it down, put it all together as the finesse.
The preacher, Todd White, is well known for walking around the streets and finding individuals who supposedly have one leg that is shorter than the other. And then miraculously, White will begin to grow out that person's leg right before our very eyes.
Thank you. In Jesus' name. Left leg, I command you grow. Right now, in Jesus' name.
Darren Brown teaches Nathan to do this exact trick because it's not a miracle. The leg growing trick is infamously used by charlatans throughout history. In fact, a quick Google or YouTube search will demonstrate how it can be done in several ways, one of which involves shifting the other person's shoes to make it seem as though a leg is being grown. If you speed up the Todd White clip of him performing this miracle and you just play it back and forth, you can literally see what Todd White is doing. But a big part of faith healing isn't just tricks like this. In fact, a lot of it is rooted in a deeper part of who we are as people. By the end of Darren Brown's special, Nathan is able to perform in front of a small audience of believers, and you can see that he too is able to, with just the touch of his hand, bring people to fall back as though they were touched by God themselves. To understand how Nathan, who is an ordinary guy, versus Benny Hinn, who claims to be able to perform miracles, can do what they're doing, you have to understand the power behind what they're creating in their shows. From the very moment it begins, you're joined by a crowd of people, united by a particular cause or belief. There are those in the crowd who are already in pain, who feel as though something is missing in their lives. When they're brought together, there is a sense of oneness, of wholeness, and unity. Just think about how powerful these crowds can be and what it's like to be in one, especially when they're all joined by a united cause.
It's basically a cult.
Or more specifically, a suggestible and open state.
It's cult, man. All these shits is cults, bro.
He loves you. You don't have to pay for it. Just ask for it.
Music rises and falls, stirring a wave of experiences and
crying, falling out and fainting and shit. Like, bro, my aunt used to do that shit, be fainting, and my aunt used to be doing that, fainting in the church and shit, bro. Since I was a kid, and I remember, I swear to God, I was like 7 years old. I remember seeing that and thinking, what the fuck is she doing? I would never forget that. Like, what are you doing? Nothing. And I remember laughing to myself, like, this is not real. No spirit came down and got it. Because since I was a kid, I knew these things wasn't real. Oh my God, I don't know. I just got a different mind. I'm just ahead of my time, I feel. Because since I was young, I just knew certain things was not real. All this spiritual and miracles, and I knew that shit was fake. You're going to put your hand on me and I'm just going to be like, it's not real. So why does hospital? It's just like I just had common sense. If that's real, why does hospitals exist? And if you could work miracles, why is people still going to the hospital and dying every day? And it's like, it's not adding up.
Out to come.
All things are possible to him that believes.
That's why I've always been anti-social, stick to myself, because you get in these groups and start acting weird. I want to be cool, I want to be with everybody.
It's almost like a conductor for the orchestra of experiences that people are going through. A leader amongst a crowd of people in a hypnotic, trance-like state is something that you cannot underestimate the psychological effect of. Then the healer begins preaching.
Bro, I would be the only person in that church.
Don't look for the healing.
That's how I used to be in church when I was a kid. I used to be like,
whatsoever
I'm not feeling nothing, because it's not real. You have to basically tell yourself it's real, like it's not real. I would be up in there like I don't feel nothing. I don't feel this magical. It's just like, and I'm like, oh, you're not feeling it because you don't believe. No, I'm not feeling it because you are fucking charlatan. That's why.
You may feel God's
You fanning them down and they fall.
Suggested and primed
They felt the
that
breeze.
is the case.
This motherfucker.
And in being so connected to the crowd around you,
No,
the effects of social conformity are bound to take place. In this trance-like state, you go along with what the preacher's suggestions are. You do what you are expected to do. It's no different to what a stage hypnotist does. You know, the
Same
more suggestible you
shit.
are, the more belief you have, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, the more you believe, the easier it is to finesse you. If you believe in whatever goofy shit I'm telling you, it's easy for me to just make you think whatever the fuck I want you to think. Oh yeah, this is real, because you fucking already fucking brainwashed already.
To momentarily be able to get up and walk around. But what we are really witnessing is just a moment of mind over body. The placebo effect is a well-known phenomenon. It's when a patient's condition changes after receiving a treatment that by no means should have changed their condition. For example, if a patient expects a pill to do something and is told by their doctor that it'll help them, even if that pill
doesn't help you, you're still gonna feel like it helped you. Your mind.
Chemistry to cause effects similar to what medication might have caused.
Come
the key
on, bro.
here is expect. Because a placebo effect is mostly theorized to be caused by our expectations around the given treatment. Expectations that we derive from culture and society.
Oh, this is going to do that. You expect it to happen, so you start feeling like it's happening, but it's like...
can be more effective. Or when you're given 2 placebo pills to take every day rather than 1, it can also be more effective. Because culturally, we perceive the latter of these treatments to have a bigger effect on us. That belief in expectancy can be so powerful as to have physiological effects on our body. And what more powerful expectation can
so when people in the crowd see them, oh my God, he was walking in a wheelchair, now he could run. It's like,
spiritual being,
he's going to be in that wheelchair tomorrow in all types of pain. He wasn't handicapped. He just had like a bad leg sprain or some shit
you will
like
never
that.
see any miracle healer or somebody that believes in the law of attraction be able to do anything that is beyond a placebo. It's why you'll never see them be able to restore the limb of an amputee.
And as I've watched your healing crusades, am I seeing anything that goes beyond placebo?
I've wondered why sometimes someone comes in and comes out of a wheelchair, walks around, runs around, and hours later, they're back in that wheelchair again.
The problem is, however, that those who attend the event and whose problems and illnesses are not healed at the event or return after the event start to blame themselves. That for some
they didn't
reason,
believe enough.
God didn't want to heal them, that they didn't have enough faith. Remember Ashneal from the HBO documentary? 7 weeks after attending his miracle crusade.
In the ground, of course, he's gone. He had 2 brain tumors.
Is there any way that any hymns let you down?
Of course not. No. Benny didn't let us down.
Did you ever, in some of your worst moments...
I mean, he didn't have nothing to do with him getting a brain tumor, so he's just a finesser and got them for $2,000.
I know there's a generational curse.
Generational curse, bro. No, bro. This is sickness. People be born with all type of shit.
That curse lasts for 3 or 4 generations.
Who told you that? Benny Hinn.
I hate it from Pastor Benny.
When he said that, I thought he like actually had like something to go with it, like, oh, this happened to my father, my mother, everybody in my family have brain tumors, and even then that would just be like genetics, not fucking a curse. That's what happened when you believe in this bullshit.
It doesn't square with the Bible at all. It's a complete scam. It's utter deception.
Increase your faith, increase your seed, and store up for the future, so that when these tragedies hit on earth, you will be spared.
It is a deception to a degree that I don't think I've seen before. And you have to sit there and look at this all and wonder, surely there's justice to this story, right? Surely somebody takes the fall. Surely there's a happy ending to it. Surely. In September of 2019, Benny Hinn comes out with quite the astonishing announcement.
And I'm sorry to say that prosperity has gone a little crazy. I think it's an offense to the Lord. It's an offense to say, give $1,000. I think it's offense to the Holy Spirit. Place a price on the gospel. I'm done with it.
Benny Hinn had decided to leave the prosperity gospel. Hallelujah, right?
One of the best lessons that I could give to people is say, watch what they go back to. Watch what they give up and watch what they go back to.
Okay, so it's time to give to the Lord's work. It's time to sow seed, Lord's work, so God can bless you and reward us. Now it's time to give to the Lord's work, because giving guarantees
Maybe you just woke
our
up and was like,
financial
yo.
protection.
The problem
Hey,
is,
that's
once
saying
you've
that.
generated the type of following and business
saying that.
reputation that Hinn has, changing your ways becomes
That's
almost
about that
impossible.
too, like-
And more so because I genuinely believe that most of these prosperity preachers, they're not intentionally malicious. They've deceived themselves.
Even till today, I question.
Yeah, you can believe some
Is this
shit to a
God?
point.
Is this just me?
Do
The
something.
reality is that most
Being
of
so
the
deep, you
preachers
start
that we've
believing in
mentioned
that
in this
bullshit
video
yourself.
are continuing their
Maybe he
operations
is
today.
God.
And when
Wow,
they
so
pass,
rich.
there's
Maybe
going to
he
be a
is
wave
Lord.
of new
All this
prosperity
money.
preachers ready to take their place. Their message
Yeah, ain't
is
shit
an
gonna
easy one
change.
to spread.
Easy to
It
spread.
promises you health.
People
wealth,
are easily
happiness.
manipulated.
It makes you feel
Most
good.
people are
And what's not to
sheeps.
love about that?
Most
right?
people are
Look at the
fucking
comment
suffering
section
and living
below, and you're probably
horrible
not going to
lives
be hard
anyway.
pressed to find someone
So it's easy to
defending
sell them
Hinn
a
or
dream
Copeland or
and
the
you do this,
prosperity
you gonna get
theology
this and
overall. You'll
happiness
probably
and
find
it's
people
easy to sell
claiming
people
that
out.
they have seen miracles
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
or
sure,
that by
you've seen
sowing
that,
their
sure.
seed, prosperity
Sure,
really
sure.
was given to them.
Sure,
And
sure,
I'm not
sure.
delivering any new message here. You know, prosperity
Hey.
theology receives a lot of criticism inside of Christianity and outside.
Hey man, you know you're a piece of shit, right?
Nah, you know you're a piece of shit, right? Yeah,
Yet
you know you're the
they'll
devil, right?
get away with
Yeah,
their
get the
teachings
fuck
because
out of
their
here,
message is
devil,
for people
charlatan,
who are cynical.
jackal,
It's really
motherfucker.
difficult to stop their more deceptive
Look in their
actions. The only
eyes,
thing you
bro.
can do
All
is
they got
go
hold
to
of them
those
is
that believe
look in
in
their
it and
eyes,
steer
like,
them
bro,
away.
like-
And until that happens, the booming business of prosperity theology and faith healing
Ain't
will
going
continue
nowhere.
to flourish.
Money on deck.
I don't know what you feel about the prosperity gospel.
Yeah, that's the end of the video right there. Rich is wicked. Screaming. Since I was young and I knew these dudes was full of shit. Man, like and subscribe. I'll be back to y'all with another one. Let's go.